Today from r/EntitledParents. Entitled mother never told me my medical diagnosis. I was just remembering this lovely memory and thought it was worth sharing. For context, I'm a 22-year-old female. Now, this story takes place sophomore year of high school, 16. Around Christmas, I started noticing my back would be very painful around the end of the day. I thought it was because I was going from walking about campus all day, plus dance team, to laying in my bed over winter break. Fast forward 2 months, and that ache turned into a complete noticeable stabbing pain, basically morning to evening. Fast forward another 2 months, and that pain was full on agonizing. Practically a stabbing hot poker 24/7. Icy hot, Epsom salt, stretching, meditation, etc. Literally was just getting worse. My mother could not have made the situation worse. My mother thought I was exaggerating my pain and even would say it's probably because I was gaining weight and holding it in my back. I had to start crying silently in bathrooms, all to avoid whatever dismissive thing she would say. She refused to take me to the doctor because she was convinced I was lying about how bad the pain was. I did everything I could think of at school, as I couldn't do one physical activity for more than 15 minutes at a time. Luckily, I had super understanding teachers and coaches. It came to a point where the only comfortable position was laying down. This was a high school floor, so you can imagine how desperate I was. One day, my mother came home and screamed at me saying how much I embarrassed her. Apparently, some of my teachers had emailed her, saying how concerned they were and suggested I go to a doctor. My mother said I could no longer do whatever I was doing at school and just had to deal with it. Well, the pain eventually started affecting my sleep and I didn't know what to do. Another member of my dance team said I should make an appointment with her chiropractor. He worked wonders with her ankle. I unfortunately had to wait an extra 3 weeks until my grandmother came into town, as my mother refused to take me. At the appointment, he asked me like 400 questions, feels around my back and puts me in the weirdest position ever, and crack, instant relief. I literally start crying. For the first time in nearly 6 months, the pain is just gone. The doctor then shows me my x-ray, and I think I immediately see the issue. I say, "Is that a curve?" He says, "Yes, it looks like you have slight scoliosis," and it was pointing to the pain has been in your back. I'm honestly shocked and confused. I figured it had developed over the years as no doctor had ever said anything before. So my grandmother and I get home. My mother is pretty snotty and says, "Well, what did they say? Is it all better?" I look at her and tell her I have a curve and it makes me susceptible to extreme back pain. What she said next shocked me. She then looked at me in the face and said, "Oh, well, that's always been there since you were little. Every x-ray has showed that. I've always known." I was so dumbfounded I shouted, "And you didn't think to mention that every time I cried about how the back pain has been the last several months?" She said, "I honestly thought you were faking." After a long time of mindful posture and lots of stretches, the pain eventually went away for good, but I will always remember that story.